This report is a pack of lies. It is anti-scientific nonsense based on fraud, which is intended to regiment people into paying more in carbon taxes and help the oil companies increase profits by increasing prices.
It's a 33... it doesn't mean it can't be fraudulent, but it's a 33-page report that's been contributed by scientists
from... directory, but it doesn't prove anything. Look, I'll tell you, and I've challenged the IPCC, and the professor just speaking could take up this challenge as well.
The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
Yes,
on you go, Mr. Corbyn.
The United Nations committee, that is, yes. There is no scientific paper, no peer-reviewed scientific paper in existence that shows that increases carbon dioxide worldwide drive world temperature rises. There's nothing of that sort anywhere in existence.
Let's get back. You won't go, Mr. Corbyn. I want to get the Professor back in. How would you respond to that challenge, Professor?
So there are several challenges there. So I'll tackle the warming challenge first of all, and there are numerous scientific papers since the mid-1970s which very clearly demonstrate that. One of the earliest scientific papers predicted the forward look of temperature rise, and we're exactly on target. So 30 years prediction.
I will come back to you, Mr. Corbyn. Let the Professor finish. Go ahead, Professor.
The second type of answer to that is let's look at other planets. So we know that carbon dioxide and water vapour warm Earth very slightly, and that's beneficial to us. But when carbon dioxide gets out of control, we can look at a planet like Venus, which has an atmosphere of entirely carbon dioxide, and the temperature there on that dead planet is well over 200 centigrade. So the physics of CO2 warming are really clear. I can do an experiment on my kitchen table, which will show you that works.
The reason why Venus is warmer is, one, it's near the sun, two, it has more atmosphere, irrespective of its content of CO2. CO2 has no effect on the temperatures. The levels of CO2 are driven by temperatures because they're governed by the sea, and that is borne out by scientific actual measurements, not models made up by people that have a
Mr. Corbyn, why
agenda.
are we losing the coral reef if it's not as an aspect of global warming?
We're not losing the coral reef, and I'd like to quote... No, we're not. I'd like to quote to you...
Sorry, I'll come back. Professor, we are losing the coral reef, aren't we?
That's correct. I think it's really well substantiated with numerous observations by numerous agencies over years that the coral reef is dying, and also that the ocean acidity increases.
Let's get back to Mr. Corbyn. I think we're going to have to finish. Yes, Mr. Corbyn, it's only fair to give you your side of the story. Go ahead, sir. Mr. Corbyn.
A UN official, Ottoman Edenfor, in 2010 in the Swiss newspaper Neue Zürcher Zeitung, said one has to free oneself from the illusion that international climate policy is environmental policy.
Right. Mr. Corbyn, do you accept
nothing to do with environmental policy anymore?
Mr. Corbyn, do you accept the sea
politics and theft?
Lastly, Mr. Corbyn, do you accept the sea level is rising globally?
Sea level is rising at a very slow rate, and then there's been, since the last ice age, and there's been no increase in the rate of rise since industrialisation. And if there was any danger, Al Gore would have sold his house by the sea a long time ago.
Professor, how would you respond to that? There is an increase in that.
I think we're on a different set of belief systems with Mr. Corbyn. I deal with facts and information substantiated by many independent parties. This report is actually really conservative. We're on a pathway to much more than 3 degrees warming, and as a geologist I can tell you that in the entire history of the planet Earth there has never been a speed and an amount of warming like we're seeing now.